And this particular topic we're studying today is describe factors associated with the environmental justice movement. It's a part of a sociology textbook. Let's begin with a high level question that the tutor has posed. What factors are associated with the environmental justice movement? I'm going to say, I don't know. So I'm going to provide that in shorthand as a student might, and this will be interpreted by the tutor that then attempts to provide appropriate help. In this case, it gives a hint. What is the primary goal of the environmental justice movement? So I'm going to provide something partially correct here. So this answer is now evaluated by the tutor against what it knows to be the reference answer. It determines that I haven't provided a complete answer, and it decides to uh, direct me to providing that complete answer by allowing me to fill in a blank here. So it's equal protection for all, but I need to specify what the different classes of people are. So I'm going to say it's race, class, and geography, and try that as the answer. Again, this is evaluated by the tutor that says I've got that right. Notice that it reinforces my answer and then moves on to the next hint. At this point, if I start struggling, one of the things the tutor does is that it can take me into a more specific topic. So I'll try to get there. You notice that as it's going through, it's providing this kind of encouraging tone and trying to make sure that it's giving me motivation to keep working on this. So here I've gone through a couple of hints where I haven't really done well. So it goes to a more detailed question. Again, in the Socratic style, I'm now studying how impoverished neighborhoods suffer greater environmental harm from polluting industries. So I'm going to try something here. Again, this top level question here is fairly broad. It's evaluating against that broad response. It determines I don't really have enough there. So it again goes into one of the hints. Um, so in this way, the tutor can keep kind of interrogating the student. As a student, I could also just get away from this flow and instead ask the tutor a question. Um, so for example, I could try to cheat and try to ask the question the tutor is asking me in a sense, and see how it responds there. So it says that's part of my current topic. I can't answer it, so I can try asking something else. Um, so I can kind of scroll through this list here and pick a question. This list is the list of most frequently asked questions by students, and here's one that I asked. Notice it gave me the answer, but it also kind of prods me back to answering its own question so that I stay on track and achieve my goals. The other thing I could do is I can engage in completely natural conversation. So I could ask, how am I doing, for example, and it should, give me some information about how I'm performing. You notice that on the top left here, there's also a mastery meter that shows the student how they're doing on this topic. um, I could, engage in banter. I could ask something irrelevant, who won the World Series, for example. And the tutor is fairly robust in being able to handle different types of things. So in this case, it's kind of not recognizing what I said. So it says, that doesn't match anything I know. Was that really a question? And I could say, yes, it was a question, or no, I was actually answering what you told me. So in these kinds of cases, we find it's best to kind of use the student to disambiguate what the tutor's confused about. And in this case, I said I was trying to ask a question. It's marked for review, which is to say that we manually evaluate if that's a relevant question. And if it is, we then add that answer to the tutor. Um, we get the student back on track like this. I could, say this is boring, and that's something we detect as well in terms of being able to respond somewhat reasonably to that statement. In this case, the tutor invites the student to close this or enter OK to continue. If I continue, puts me back on the question, and I can, say something insulting like this, for example, and it can respond somewhat cleverly to that as well. So this is the basic framework. In our demonstration, the student can go through and study this entire topic, and we'll have participants at the conference try this live.